Good afternoon and welcome to Marty's Rocks. I live in Idaho and we are famous for a beautiful jasper. It's called Bruno Jasper and it's famous for its orbs, as you can see in this one. This is what I'm working on. I've sanded it down and grinded it a little, but it still needs to be ground down a little more. This one, I have a whole box of this rough here. And here's how it comes rough out of the mine is gone now. It's under the Bruno River in Bruno, Idaho. But to get the rock out of the matrix, or the garbage, all you do is here's a fracture. Let me see if I can get, there you go. Right here, there's a fracture. All I do is put a chisel and a hammer, and I'll break this off from the matrix. And I did one not too long ago. This guy right here was in a pound of matrix, and I was able to just chisel that out with a couple whacks of the hammer. I haven't polished it yet. I've started sanding it and working on it, but not finished. This is, let me see there's another little piece down here, but this is again, there's just rough, this is the rough rock, and here it is polished. This one doesn't have an orb in it, but it's beautiful anyhow, just the colors and the weight. It's over a pound, so it would make it's a beautiful display piece. I wouldn't do anything else to it other than that. And as I said, Bruno Jasper is known for its orbs. It is one of the first porcelain jaspers. Bruno, Morrisonite, Biggs, Owyhee, which is right here in my backyard, and a couple others that are known as porcelain jaspers because of their glassy luster. It's another Bruno with an orb. They also cut these into cabs or cabochons. Here's a little cab, and again you just cut it and shape it. There's also some with unique colors and styles that are very different than Bruno Jasper, the original look. This is one I call Tiger Tail Jasper, or Tiger Tail Bruno, and it's a beautiful piece. And polished that out of one of these rough pieces, just knocked it out of the matrix, and you'll get pieces like this. This has got a beautiful orb inside of it, and that's typical Bruno. And the rarest form of Bruno is a black Bruno, and you'll see in this one, look at the red in that, if we can get the glare off of that somehow. And this piece is just priceless to me. I would part with that. And you can get little pieces like this, little tiny slabs, still have the matrix up on top. When you're cutting, you only want to cut one side. You don't want to cut the bottom and the top. You know, you don't want to square it or anything. A collector will not buy anything that's been cut more than at least two. This one I call a flame. It's just in that matrix, and just a small flame running through it, and it's very cool, at least to me. And it's nice being around this area. This is another piece that you could do something, but it's pretty blasé. I've been selling quite a bit of this lately, so this is mostly matrix. But anyhow, Bruno Jasper is one of the world's most famous jaspers. It's just down the road about 100 miles, and we're awful proud of it here, as well as we are with the Morrisonite mine. It's in Oregon, but it's so close to Idaho that you know, you don't know where you're at over there. And so anyhow, these are Bruno Jaspers, and one of my absolute favorites. It's easy to work. It polishes up beautiful. You can make jewelry out of it. You can just display them just like I do, just like this. There are none left. Only collectors have them. So I'm happy to have a box of anything rough. And when you can get something like this out of it, then you can consider yourself very fortunate. And this piece, I can't wait to start working on it. I'm going to have to use a wet grinder on this one instead of my belt sander. I've used the belt sander on it quite a bit, but this stuff down here just is not going to polish up. So I have to grind that out with the wet grinder at 50 grit. And then I'll polish this up here starting at 50 and going all the way to 3,000 or 5,000, whichever one I go to. And it will shine up just as well as this one does, to a glassy mirror finish. And they all do. Thanks for listening. I hope you learned something, and please subscribe and like us. We'd appreciate that. We appreciate y'all too. So thank you. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.